my friend. This episode is for you if you are an owner, leader, creative, or healer wanting to embrace your magic, make powerful decisions, and thrive without sacrificing your energy. Doesn't that sound amazing? And for this special reason, I have my guest today, Elysia Skye. She is an intuitive business coach, speaker, award-winning video producer, and host of the Brilliance Method Podcast. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Lucy. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. Yes, I'm having so much fun here because it's so fun when we chat. We are both intuitives. I trust my intuition all the time. So many business owners or leaders actually rely only on logic or strategy. How can they start trusting their intuition more in decision making?
Wow. I feel like this is something you and I talk about a lot. And when we recognize that our intuition is just as real as any other sense that we have, just how we hear, we see, we feel, we taste, we touch, our intuition was given to us in our body and in our energy field to help guide us, to actually make decisions. That's what it's for. And it uses our body as a barometer so that we know if something feels off or not. So it's essential to connect to your body and to connect to your feelings, which I understand is somewhat of a struggle for a lot of people, especially business owners who are used to being in positions of power. It might seem counterintuitive to tap into your sensitivity, but actually your sensitivity is a superpower. And there's ways you can do that that doesn't feel overly emasculating or overly feminine if that's not your goal either. So we can get into that. But truly, it's about connecting with your body.
I love it. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit ooh-ooh for some, but for us, we believe in embracing our magic and we believe in our magic and power, right? What does it mean to you to embrace your magic?
I love this question. So, magic is what we cannot see, but what we believe, right? And some people might call it faith, or, some people call it manifestation, but we believe it and we can't see it. But what actually happens is we believe it until we see it, right? We believe it until it comes through, and then we know for sure it's there. So the point is we keep believing in it and we keep focusing on it until it actually comes to life. But it might seem contradictory, but the truth is, if you know that it's going to come to life, you have to keep believing in it even if you don't see it yet, right? So it's almost cyclical or circular. But when we create magic in our life, and we all have the ability to do that, we can't just wish for something or manifest something, and then when we get a sign that it happens, then forget about it, right? I'll give you a quick example. If you're going to buy a house and you find your dream home and you're like, ooh, I'm going to put all my magic and all my energy and all my manifestation into getting this dream home, then maybe the seller accepts your offer. Don't stop believing in it then. I encourage you to see yourself walking into the home for the inspection, signing the papers, getting the keys, setting up your furniture, enjoying your first meal there, right? Take that magic all the way through till you can't even imagine it anymore. And that is how we cultivate more magic into our life.
Mm. Can you share another story, maybe from a client who is a leader who fully stepped into their intuitive power and saw massive growth in their career or business?
Wow, I have so many examples for that, but perhaps I'll shine a light on my client and now my dear friend Megs Thompson. So Megs is a ghostwriter. She calls herself a word twerker, a book doula. She's a publisher. She is magic. And when I first met her, she wanted to live in a different location. She wanted to move from a different state. She wasn't yet a publisher, but she had these thoughts, she had these dreams, and then there was a decision to actually make it happen. And I think that's the biggest shift for most people. And for Megs, when she decided, I'm going to leave Washington and I'm going to move to Montana. Like she decided, right, Lucy? And there's so much power in the decision. And when we make the decision, our life starts to show up for us. So now she lives in Montana. She's published dozens of authors. She is a very successful publisher and ghostwriter. Like her whole world changed. Her income, like I think at certain points quadrupled. I remember the first time she messaged me, she's like, I had a $5,000 day today, right? And then it turned out I had a $20,000 day today. And it's like, it's magical. And it's not so much about the money. Is it her seeing, oh my gosh, this is real and I can help so many more people now that I've stepped into my light and I know who I am and I know what I offer and I'm not afraid to share that with the world. And gosh, she's helped so many people create their stories and share their stories. And her company is called In Omnia Parata Publishing. And I'm just so proud of her. And through each and every step of the way, she used her body as a barometer, like I said, right? Making a decision, is this the right house for me? What do I want to name my publishing company? Can I be a publisher? How can an independent person, an independent company publish multiple books and get them into worldwide distribution, not just on Amazon? But she listened. She said yes when it felt right. She said no when it didn't feel right. And she has the tools now to continue doing that. And her success just keeps growing and growing.
And the key word I hear is decisions. Decisions, decisions, decisions. I'm all about making fast decisions because, when you're ready, it's a decision. If you're good enough or not is your decision, right? Where is your next move? What is your next move? They are all decisions that you get to make.
Yeah, you're right. And on that note, truly, I believe, and not everybody likes when I say this, but we choose how we feel. And maybe at first, if you're having a reaction, you want to make a decision, you want to listen to your intuition, and maybe you get a feeling that's not so great, right? Well, two things, two sides of that coin. One, listening to your intuition doesn't always feel great. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I knew that I had cancer, knowing that I had cancer when I was 24, that wasn't an awesome feeling. That wasn't a fun feeling, but I still felt that same peace in my body that I feel in my heart center when I have that intuition. And the second thing is when we react, and this is where people get kind of mad at me, but it's okay. I stand by it. When we react, maybe we don't think in that moment we made that decision to express that feeling, that we had that choice. But the truth is we do. And the more we practice mindful living and truly being present in the moment, we could slow down the time it takes for our brain to send a signal to our heart to fluster and then our mouth to say things we don't want to say. And I promise it's a muscle. You build it, you get better and better, faster and faster until you go, whew, I feel that. I don't like that. Maybe I shouldn't say that right now. Maybe instead I should speak from this place, right? Which also will include boundaries and speaking up for yourself. That's all good. But I have found that the transmutation of anger, filtering it, feeling it fully, processing it, not burying it, that's not healthy, right? But transmuting it to go, okay, I feel it fully. Now I'm safe to express what it is I want to say so that I can be heard. Because we all just want to be heard. We're all just crying out for love. And we have a choice in how we respond. We have a choice in how we feel. We do.
Great points. Thank you for sharing. But when someone is faced with tough decisions, how can leaders distinguish between fear and intuition?
Ooh, that's a great question. So when we are not sure if it's our head, right? Which I think is where all that fear lives, right? Fear is usually because we're overthinking something. Now, granted, we do have that fear instinct in us. Like if in caveman days, you see a dinosaur or a tiger, you run, right? That's built in. It's connected to our ego so that we can survive. The ego cannot survive without a body, or I believe the spirit or the soul can. So that conversation of fear versus intuition, who are you putting in charge? Your ego or your spirit? So coming back to that, if you're overthinking something, like you've thought it to death, you're in your head. When we truly know something, like I mentioned before, we're dropped into our heart center. Even if it's an unhappy feeling, or even if it's a bad news, there's still a peaceful knowing that, all right, just got to do the damn thing, right? And it's a stillness, Lucy, where fear feels frenetic and chaotic. Intuition is still, it's mindful, it's peaceful. So if you're in fear mode and you're overthinking and you're worried or you're anxious or you're panicked, or even if you're depressed, which can feel a lot slower than anxiety, if you could remember in the moment, in this moment, I am safe. And just take a breath. And sometimes it's hard to remember that. But like I said, it's practice, right? It's practice. You build the muscle. Maybe you get a tattoo or a bracelet or something to remember in this moment, I'm safe. Breathe, drop in, and then make the decision from that calm place. And I promise you, even if it feels annoying to take your time, you will have better results and you will make less mistakes when you've made decisions from a place of intuition, clarity, and peace.
Beautifully said. But that place of peace comes from practices of grounding yourself, right? Like rituals of meditation, of whatever modality that suits your boat, rocks your boat, right? For me, what really helped is gratitude journaling and to make more powerful, fast decisions, having that confidence to trust my intuition. I also add on top of that, writing also my win of the day. Even if it's just one win, you feel like a winner. How about you? What are some exercises or rituals you do to strengthen that decision-making confidence muscle?
Oh, well, I know, you're such a confidence leader, truly. If anybody wants to really learn how to build their confidence, you're such a great model for that. So I also do wins. And the reason why, and I'll add a bit more to this, but when we focus on what's working, when we focus on what's going well, we can actually do more of that. If we stay stuck focusing on what didn't work out, like the not wins, the fails, the try agains, right? The start overs. If we stay there, stay there, stay there, then we start beating ourselves up. Self-doubt comes in, our confidence, our self-assurance gets rocked. So it is critical to share your wins. We do that in my coaching program every week. We share our wins, even not when we're on the calls in our group, we share our wins. And also with gratitude, I write what I'm grateful for, but then I write 3 reasons why. And the human brain wants to know why. When we understand why, we feel a deeper connection to the purpose, and then we do more of it, including the gratitude journaling. And I also have a grounding meditation that I do every single day that I lead my clients through. And in being grounded to the earth, there's a couple little processes. One, we ground, we imagine this grounding cord. It might be a tree trunk or a waterfall or a beam of light. Or if you're a little kid doing it, or you want to do it with your kids, maybe have them visualize a crayon or an ice cream cone or a pencil, right? And you visualize it all the way down to the center of the earth, that hot, beautiful core of the earth where there's a crystal that's all yours. And that crystal's only job is to receive what you're letting go of. And again, this sounds woo-woo and out there, but it helps to just intentionally let go of what's no longer serving you. I release anything that's in my way, any fears, any doubts, any worries, any limiting beliefs down my grounding cord, and I visualize them. Lucy, I see them, whether it's a picture or a movie or sometimes a color or a shape, and I use my breath to release them and let them go. And once we've ground, we have to replenish. Once we've let go, right? If we've exhaled, we've got to inhale. And our very first breath we take as a baby is an inhale, right? So we start by receiving. So that's what you do when you get into meditation. You breathe in and you receive, but you let go. So then don't forget, after you ground, you want to replenish. You want to call all that energy back. Anything you've left in other places with other people, caretaking, worrying, spreading yourself too thin, even good situations. You're visiting a parent recently and you want them to feel loved, right? But you can put a magnet right in your heart and just call all your energy back, trusting and knowing everyone has enough of their own energy to take care of themselves. And then you breathe that in, you breathe it in and you receive it and you set your intention. I'm a big fan of setting intentions.
Me too. Just listening to you earlier, oh, feels amazing.
Thanks, love.
Well, I'm all about making bold moves. I know you are too. So, how do you help your clients navigate self-doubt?
Well, when we know who we are and why we're here, like what our dharma is, what our purpose is, the self-doubt shows up. It kind of always does once in a while, but the gravity of it lessens over time when we become stronger and stronger in who we are and why we do what we do. Anything we're creating, right? Whether it's our business, our art, or our family, it's always important to go back to the why, because it's hard work and we can get really tired. And when you're tired and you need a break, but you have to keep going, it's good to come back to your why. And sometimes when I'm tired, or, every once in a while, maybe there's a conflict, right? Or even a client that wants something more than I can provide, or whatever it might be, I go back to my why. And that's where visualization comes back in. I have over to the side here, I'm looking off to the side, I have images of chimpanzees hugging each other. I have pictures of me and my husband traveling around the world. Just things that really drive me. There's an organization called Drop in the Bucket that $100 puts wells and water in a home for families in Africa. $20,000 will put a well in an entire school, right? So, but I want to be clear. I don't want you to focus on charitable or altruistic things over yourself. Please always start from within. Why does this matter to you? Why does it help you to feel impactful, purposeful, significant, that you're contributing, that you're making a difference, whether it's in your community, in your business, with your clients, or most importantly at home in your family life or with your close friends? And then we look at, who else do we care about? What's my legacy? What's my impact, right? So when we're feeling all that self-doubt, how much of what you're doing is really about you, right? The beginning it is, right? Entrepreneurship, there's a lot of shadow work. There's a lot of self-work. But when we hit it, right, when we're millionaires, multimillionaires, when we have more than we need, even if it's only, hundreds of thousands, which is still a lot of money, there's people you can help. There's animals you can help. There's organizations you can help. And that's really important to me. Whenever I work with anyone, even when, you remember you filled out the thing to be on my podcast, and I said, what charity should I donate to on your behalf for you being on my show, right? I take this work so seriously, Lucy, that there's so much in the world that's bigger than us, but that doesn't mean we're not important. It doesn't mean we don't matter. We do matter. Everyone who is listening or watching this right now, you are worthy and deserving of a happy life. And as you remember that you matter and you reconnect to your why, you won't keep falling off. And then you'll get to contribute to the organizations that you know are moving the needle forward. And that truly has helped a lot of people from going and starting 10 more nonprofits. Of course, we all need more nonprofits, but maybe the one you want to start has already been started. So you can build your business sharing your genius and then donate to someone else's, right?
Beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
But you know what? Have you come to see a situation where intuition actually contradicts traditional business advice?
100%. Always, right? Always. So when someone is scaling a business, they will look to a mentor or a business coach who has the results that they want. And those are usually monetary results, right? So strategies will point to, and all of the online gurus will point to, well, you need to, I'll give an example, build your email list, and you do that through doing a free webinar, and then your webinar takes you to a sales funnel, and then your sales funnel has an upcharge, and then by then you get them into your program, your head's spinning, right? And all of this, you either got to run ads or you got to do organic social media. You have to, right? So traditional marketing, advertising, scaling tells us we have to. But I have seen so many successful multi-millionaire business owners scale and grow their businesses strictly through referral, strictly through word of mouth. And their intuition comes up and says, okay, I get that I'm supposed to do all these steps, but that doesn't feel good to me, right? Some people, they love it. They're like, I love all that stuff. I love all the tech. I love all the building and the webinars and the things. I actually kind of do, but I love both. So if your intuition is like, no, something about this doesn't feel like me, I'm going to feel like a fake. I'm going to feel like an imposter. I'm going to feel like trying to swindle people, right? Well, first of all, you're magic, you're amazing, you have something brilliant to offer, and there's a lot of people who are paying attention to what's happening online, and they will benefit from seeing and hearing more from you. But with that aside, if your intuition says, you know what, I need to be speaking on stages, that's how I want to get people here. Maybe your intuition says, I want to go be a guest on podcasts. That's going to bring more people to me, right? Do what you feel motivated and inspired to do. And one of the reasons I reached out to you, Lucy, is because I love this. I love what we're doing right here, right now. And look, I've got my own workshop coming up at the end of the month, right? And there's going to be plenty of people there who will align with my message, who say yes. But here's an opportunity for me to get to be in front of your audience and share from my heart to inspire and motivate them. So, long story short, just because there are traditional strategies that work for a lot of people doesn't mean that's what's right for you, your energetic imprint, and the way that you like to do business. And that's okay. Every methodology works. You don't have to do one way just because you saw someone be successful doing it. Follow your heart.
I love it so much. I always say every guru is right. It's just not my
Yes.
right. You just have to find out what is right for you. And for me, I always trust my intuition and I make the decision that I do everything for fun. So my top priority is fun. So when I'm having fun, I'm able to provide more value. I can create free, fun content and people can get value out of that while I'm having fun because then I wouldn't be exhausted, I wouldn't burn out, and people actually benefit more that I have my energetic boundaries, right?
Yes. And so, like, if you look at, okay, I'll have what she's having, I want the results that this person has. If your result is fun and you have a happy, fun life in your family, and like, I know a little bit about you and your life and your background, and people want that. They want your confidence. They want your joy. They want your fun. They want your optimism. Like, none of that has anything to do with how much money you might have, right? And maybe that's a beautiful side effect too. So if your result is fun, have more fun. And then people will see you having fun and then they'll start having fun. It's like if you start laughing, you ever seen those videos of someone who just starts laughing on a subway or something and then other people just start laughing? And then the whole train is laughing and then we don't even know why. Now we're just having fun.
I know. And there's actually no right or wrong. I mean, yeah, you talked about coaches, telling you all these strategies, but I actually talked to a friend who speaks to her life coach on a regular landline phone. And she says her coach only does coaching on landline phones. So there's no right or wrong way to do certain things.
Yeah, my energy healer who I work with,
Hmm.
we're not allowed to use headphones. We're not allowed to use speaker. Like there's just people have different frequencies that help them to feel more aligned and that don't mess with their energy. And like, look, there's a bunch of people making billions of dollars on Zoom, but that's not what's working for that life coach or my energy healer, right?
Perfectly said.
hmm
Awesome. Awesome. Well, in your days running your business, what is a favorite quote that you go by?
Oh, well, my quote that I live and breathe by is be the lighthouse, not the lifesaver. You may have heard a lot of people say be the lighthouse, right? Shine by example, lead by example, and that's wonderful. But we also want to remember, well, when we are doing something, what is it we don't want to do, right? I heard a beautiful quote this morning that says, don't focus on what you want or what you don't want. Focus on what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, right? And I used to be a lifesaver. Lucy, I would jump into that cold, dark water with the freezing ocean and the sharks and people screaming and pushing you down under the water. Like I thought it was my job to go in and fix and save everybody. And that was exhausting. It was debilitating. It was really hard and horrible on my relationships, romantically and in my family and in my friends. And it wasn't until my wedding day, my sister was my maid of honor and she gave a speech and she said, I knew Kalen, my husband, I knew he was the one because you weren't trying to fix him or save him. You just let him be
Aww.
who he is, right? So when we look at be the lighthouse, not the lifesaver, you truly can make that decision right then and there. Do I want to stand tall and strong on the shore and shine my beacon of light for someone to find their way, gather their strength, swim a little harder, and then stand tall and strong and shine just as bright as me? Or do I want to go in the water and drown with them? and I'm done going in the water and drowning.
Mm, beautifully said. Thank you so much for all your wisdom and being here with us. Where can we check out your work at?
Oh, thank you. So ElysiaSkye.com, ElysiaSkye. There's an E at the end of Sky. Don't forget that. That's my social media handle everywhere, my LinkedIn handle. And of course, the Brilliance Method Podcast, which you can find on ElysiaSkye.com/podcast. It is a video podcast as well as audio. And my coaching membership is the Brilliance Method Emerald Collective. It's a very inexpensive membership where you get to work with me every single week, and it's a lot of fun. And I truly am here to help you get out of your own way and shine your light as bright as you can.
Oh, thank you for shining.
Thank you for shining. Here we go. Let's keep shining.